He's back. But not the way anyone expected. The silence of St. John's is broken once again as Detective Charlie Hudson returns older, quieter, and carrying secrets that could tear his team apart. Rex's ears twitch before anyone else even realizes it. That unmistakable sound, that familiar voice. Season 8 of Hudson and Rex begins not with a crime, but with a reunion, one that changes everything. Charlie Hudson had been gone for almost a year. The man who once led the major crimes team with sharp instincts and calm authority had disappeared without a word, leaving behind unanswered questions and a dog who refused to move on. In the early moments of Season 8, we see how the absence of one man reshaped an entire unit. The station feels colder, quieter. The laughter that once filled the break room is gone. Rex, the loyal German shepherd, still sits near Hudson's old desk every morning, waiting for a partner who never came back. The camera lingers on Rex's eyes, and in that silence, the audience feels what words can't say: loss, confusion, and loyalty that refuses to fade. The team has learned to work without him, or at least they pretend to. Sarah has taken on more responsibility, her confidence masking the sadness she carries. Jesse cracks jokes, but they fall flat. Even Joe, the steady anchor of the group, seems worn down by the weight of unfinished goodbyes. Everything changes on an ordinary morning. The doors of the station open, and in walks a familiar figure, trench coat, unshaven face, eyes filled with both guilt and determination. It's Charlie Hudson, standing in the doorway like a ghost who somehow found his way back home. For a moment, no one moves. Even Rex hesitates, his tail frozen mid-wag, until Charlie kneels down, whispers something only Rex can hear, and the silence breaks. Rex leaps forward barking, tail thumping against the floor in pure joy. That one reunion says more than any line of dialogue could. But underneath that warmth is a current of tension. Why did Charlie leave? Why is he back now? The team doesn't ask right away, but the questions hang in the air. Sarah looks at him like she's seeing a stranger wearing the face of an old friend. Joe crosses his arms, silently measuring the situation. Charlie, for his part, says little. His voice is softer, slower. He's seen things, that much is clear. There's something in his eyes that wasn't there before, something heavy, something broken. As the episode unfolds, we start to learn fragments of his story. He wasn't on vacation, and he wasn't on an undercover assignment. There's talk of a case gone wrong, one that forced him into hiding. Whispers about someone powerful pulling strings behind the scenes. But Hudson avoids giving clear answers. His focus is on the case that just landed on the team's desk, a missing officer, last seen near the docks. It's as if he's trying to prove something, to pick up where he left off without explaining the missing pieces. Yet the team's unease grows. Sarah hesitates to let him lead again. Jesse cracks a joke about back from the dead detectives, but even he can't hide the worrying in his eyes. Still, it's Rex who trusts him without question. Every move Charlie makes, Rex mirrors, sitting beside him, watching, listening. It's their bond that begins to pull the team together again, even when words fail. The rhythm of investigation returns, the long walks through crime scenes, the quiet exchanges, the way Charlie tilts his head just before Rex signals assent. It's all familiar, yet something feels different. Hudson isn't just chasing criminals this time. He's chasing redemption. And every clue they find pulls him closer to the truth he's been avoiding. By the end of the first act, it's clear. This isn't just another case. It's personal. The missing officer has ties to Hudson's past, and the trail leads back to something or someone from the reason he left in the first place. The final shot of the episode lingers on Charlie, standing alone under a streetlight, rain falling around him, holding a file marked confidential. His voice is low, almost a whisper. Some ghosts never stay buried. Rex stands beside him, silent but alert. As the camera fades to black, the message is clear. Charlie Hudson's return isn't just a comeback. It's the start of something much darker, something that will test loyalty, friendship, and justice in ways the team has never faced before. Season 8 doesn't open with a bang. it opens with a heartbeat. And from that moment, viewers know this season will hit deeper than ever before. No one dares to ask Charlie what really happened during the months he was gone, not at first. The team is too focused on the present, pretending the past doesn't matter. But as the days go on, small details start to slip through. Hudson flinches when he hears certain names. He avoids calls from unknown numbers. And there's a quiet sadness in his eyes every time he looks at Rex, like he's afraid of losing him again. The cheerful energy that once filled his investigations is gone, replaced by a man who now works like someone running out of time. Sarah is the first to notice the cracks. Late one night, after the rest of the team leaves, she finds Charlie still at his desk, staring at an old case file. The pages are yellowed and torn. The label almost faded, Operation Northbridge. She asks him what it is, and he just says, "Something I should have finished a long time ago." That's when the truth begins to unfold slowly, painfully, months before his disappearance. Charlie had been working a secret case involving a powerful syndicate operating under the radar in Newfoundland. It wasn't a simple drug ring or a string of robberies. This was deeper, a network connected to people inside law enforcement. He was getting too close to the truth, and someone inside the system wanted him gone. So one night, after a failed sting operation that left an informant dead, Charlie vanished. Officially, it looked like he'd gone rogue. Unofficially, he was trying to survive. He spent months off the grid, moving between safe houses, collecting evidence that could expose the people behind it all. But doing so came at a cost: isolation, guilt, and a constant fear that Rex and his team would be targeted if he made contact. His silence wasn't abandonment. It was protection. Yet now, in Season 8, that secret past starts to catch up with him. The crimes happening in St. John's aren't random. They're echoes of the unfinished case. When the missing officer's body is found near the same docks where Charlie disappeared months earlier, the puzzle pieces begin to fit. The officer wasn't a victim by chance. He was investigating the same syndicate Hudson once pursued. It's as if the ghosts of Operation Northbridge have returned to finish what they started. Charlie knows it, but he's afraid to admit how deep the corruption runs. The fear isn't for himself anymore, it's for his team. Joe senses it too. The quiet tension between the two men grows heavier with each episode. Joe wants to trust Charlie, but every new discovery raises questions. Evidence that disappears. Witnesses who backtrack. A pattern that feels too familiar. "You're hiding something," Joe finally says during one of their late-night debriefs. Charlie's response is short, almost broken. "I'm trying to protect you." Meanwhile, Rex becomes Charlie's only constant. The bond between man and dog deepens in ways the show has never shown before. Rex senses Charlie's anxiety before anyone else does, growling at shadows, alerting him before danger appears. In many ways, Rex becomes his guardian, a silent reminder of loyalty when human trust is too fragile. Every time Rex looks at him, it's as if he's saying, "Whatever you've done, you're still my partner." As the mystery thickens, Sarah and Jesse begin their own quiet investigation into what really happened to Charlie. They dig into old police records, old footage, anything that could explain his disappearance. What they find is chilling: a hidden file encrypted on the police network, marked as restricted. When they open it, the footage shows a surveillance clip of Charlie at a crime scene the night he vanished. But he isn't the only one there. A figure stands beside him, wearing a badge from their own department. Someone they know. That revelation flips everything upside down. The realization hits Sarah like a punch. Someone inside major crimes betrayed Charlie. Someone they still work with. Suddenly, his paranoia, his hesitation to open up, makes sense. He's not just fighting a case. He's fighting an enemy inside the force. The more the team uncovers, the more dangerous the situation becomes. Phone lines are tapped. Evidence goes missing. And the same coded message keeps appearing in the background of their files. Northbridge lives. By the end of this section, the tension has reached its peak. Charlie's double life is no longer a rumor, it's a fact. The audience sees a man torn between justice and survival, trapped in a web he once tried to destroy. The final scene is quiet, Charlie standing at the pier, holding the badge of the fallen officer, whispering, "I thought I buried this." Rex sits beside him, the wind brushing through his fur, watching as Hudson throws the badge into the water. But just before it sinks, a voice from the shadows says, "You can't bury the past, detective." The camera pans up to reveal a silhouette, the same figure from the old footage. Someone from inside the department. The screen fades to black, and all that remains is the sound of Rex's low growl, echoing into the night. The truth always finds its way through cracks, no matter how deeply buried. For Charlie Hudson, those cracks are widening faster than he can seal them. The closer he gets to solving the mystery of the missing officer, the clearer it becomes someone inside major crimes isn't just hiding something. They're controlling everything. Trust, once the heartbeat of the team starts to falter, every glance feels loaded, every silence suspicious. And for the first time, Charlie wonders if coming back was a mistake. The tension begins subtly. Small things go wrong, case files vanish from the server, key evidence disappears from the lab, and a lead witness suddenly changes their statement. At first, it feels like coincidence. But Sarah knows better. Someone's rewriting the story, she mutters one night, staring at her screen as data lines shift in front of her eyes. The code used to access the restricted file on Operation Northbridge wasn't random, it matched a pattern from inside her own network. Someone with clearance. Someone who knows the system as well as they do. Charlie starts to spiral. He begins reviewing every name, every file, every case report, searching for the mole who's been one step ahead since the beginning. He doesn't sleep. He barely eats. The only thing that keeps him steady is Rex, always at his side, guarding him like a shadow. There's a powerful moment midway through the episode when Charlie confides in Rex, whispering words that aren't meant for anyone else. "I came back to fix things, but maybe I brought the danger with me." It's a quiet confession, a moment of raw humanity that reminds viewers why Hudson and Rex isn't just a procedural. It's a story about loyalty. Even when everything else falls apart, the next morning, things take a darker turn. Jesse, ever the optimist, notices that a key suspect, a low-level tech officer who once worked under Charlie, has disappeared. His access card was last used inside the precinct, in the secure evidence room. When they review the security footage, it's been wiped. But a single frame remains, a reflection in a metal cabinet. It's blurry but unmistakable. The face belongs to someone on their own team. The revelation hits like ATHUNDRCLAP. Joe confronts Charlie first. "You knew, didn't you?" he accuses, his voice heavy with disbelief. Charlie doesn't deny it. "I suspected," he admits, "but I needed proof." The conversation turns heated. Joe, once Charlie's closest ally, now sees him as a liability. "You don't get to vanish, then come back and decide who we trust," Joe snaps. The hurt in his voice cuts deeper than any accusation. It's more than professional, it's personal. Charlie's return has shaken the foundation of everything they built. Meanwhile, Sarah and Jesse continue digging behind the scenes. They uncover a series of encrypted messages sent from the precinct to an unknown server. The messages all share the same phrase at the end, for Northbridge. It's a ghost code, a mark from the operation that destroyed Charlie's career. The deeper they trace, the more they realize the betrayal isn't new. It's been festering inside the department for years. In a pivotal scene, Charlie follows a lead to an abandoned warehouse near the edge of the harbor, the same place where his last undercover informant was found dead. He's not alone. Rex senses movement first, growling low, ears pricked. Out of the shadows steps the figure from the old footage, Detective Langley, one of Charlie's former colleagues, a man thought to have transferred years ago. "You always were too curious, Hudson," Langley says, his tone calm but venomous. "You should have stayed gone." The confrontation that follows is tense and raw. Langley reveals that Operation Northbridge wasn't shut down, but evolved. What was once an investigation into organized crime turned into a cover-up for those running it. High-ranking officials, even members of the police board, were involved. Langley was their inside man, ensuring anyone who got too close, including Charlie, was silenced or discredited. You think you left to protect them? Langley sneers. You left because we let you. Before Charlie can respond, gunshots ring out. Rex lunges, forcing Langley back as Charlie dives for cover. It's chaos, flashing lights, echoing footsteps, and the sound of Rex barking fiercely through the smoke. When it clears, Langley is gone, leaving behind only a trail of blood and a flash drive dropped on the ground. On it, one name appears again and again. Someone still working at major crimes. Someone Charlie trusts, back at the precinct. The air is thick with paranoia. Every officer feels like a suspect. Joe demands answers. Sarah looks betrayed, and Jesse quietly deletes his personal files, afraid they're being watched. The sense of safety is gone. Charlie knows now that this isn't just about him, it's about the team he's put in danger. He looks around the office and realizes the hardest part isn't finding the enemy outside. It's not knowing who among them has already switched sides. As the episode closes, Charlie stands in front of the team's case board. The words, "Who can we trust?" are written across the top. Photos and notes are pinned everywhere, connections forming a web that leads straight into their own department. The camera pans in on Charlie's face, tired, determined, and afraid. They think they can break us from the inside, he says quietly. They're wrong. Rex sits beside him, eyes sharp, waiting for the next move. The lights flicker in the precinct. The screen fades to black. And just before the credits roll, a final encrypted message appears on Sarah's computer. 3 words. He knows now. The storm that's been building all season finally breaks. The shadows that once whispered around Charlie Hudson now have names, faces, and a terrifying reach. The discovery of Detective Langley's betrayal has shaken major crimes to its core. But what's coming next is worse. The flash drive he dropped doesn't just expose one traitor. It exposes an entire chain of corruption that stretches far beyond the precinct walls. And at the very top of that chain is someone Charlie never imagined. The episode opens in silence. The precinct is almost empty, the glow of computer screens flickering against tired faces. Charlie sits alone in the briefing room, the flash drive plugged into his laptop. One by one, files unfold like ghosts rising from the past. Audio logs, financial records, messages between high-ranking officers. Every line confirms his worst fears. Operation Northbridge was never about stopping crime. It was about controlling it. The same people sworn to protect justice were using their power to manipulate it, building a network that profited from chaos. Charlie's hand trembles as he scrolls. There it is, a signature that freezes him in place. Superintendent Mason, the man who mentored him, befriended him during his suspension, and welcomed him back when no one else did. The realization hits like a gut punch. The one person he trusted most is the architect behind it all. Mason was the one who framed him, erased evidence, and orchestrated Langley's cover-ups. The betrayal isn't just professional, it's personal, intimate, and devastating. He slams the laptop shut. His reflection in the screen stares back, older, haunted, and ready. He knows what he has to do. But this time, he's not going in alone. Charlie calls the team in: Sarah, Joe, Jesse, everyone who stood beside him despite the chaos. He lays out the truth, piece by piece, not hiding anything. The room goes quiet. Sarah's eyes well up, not from shock, but from understanding. You've been carrying this alone all this time, she says softly. Joe paces the floor, fists clenched, fury radiating off him. We end this, he declares. For the first time in months, the team feels united again, broken, bruised, but standing together. They plan their move carefully. Mason's next appearance is at a public ceremony honoring fallen officers, the perfect setting for a man who hides behind the image of integrity. Charlie knows confronting him there means exposure, danger, and possibly the end of his career. But he also knows there's no turning back. The truth must be seen, not whispered. As the scene unfolds, tension hums beneath every frame. Crowds gather under gray skies. Mason takes the podium, speaking about loyalty and courage, words that now sound like poison. Charlie watches from the sidelines, his badge glinting under the dull light. Rex sits beside him, muscles tense, waiting for a signal. Sarah and Jesse are inside the control booth, uploading the evidence files to the city's broadcast feed. Joe stands by the stage, ready to act if things go wrong. And then, it happens. Mason's voice cracks mid-sentence as the screen behind him flickers to life. The feed hijacks the ceremony, displaying message logs and video recordings, his own voice giving orders to silence witnesses, manipulate cases, and pay off officers. The crowd gasps. Cameras flash. Mason's carefully built empire begins to crumble in seconds. He spots Charlie in the crowd. Their eyes meet, two men who once shared trust, now separated by betrayal. Mason steps down from the stage, rage burning behind his calm facade. "You don't understand what you've done," he hisses. "You think this ends here." But Charlie doesn't flinch. "It ends where it began, with the truth," he replies. Suddenly, chaos erupts. Mason's security detail turns, revealing hidden weapons. Rex launches forward, disarming one of them with precise speed, while Joe tackles another. Gunshots echo through the plaza. Sarah yells through the comms, "We've got it all. The files are live everywhere." The entire department's corruption web is now public. There's no going back.